Hi guys, welcome back to Sunday School. It's another week here in January of 2021, and we've passed our Advent season and our Epiphany season, so now we're still talking about Jesus growing up in his life. This week we're actually talking about baptism. Baptism, back in the day that the Bible was written, was basically when a special person in the church would cleanse or would put water on a person, usually before they go into a church or a temple, and that would basically cleanse them to get them prepared to speak to God or pray to God. And nowadays it's kind of one of those things that we do for our kids, or we do ourselves to be brought up into the church. So it basically just means that usually we're either given a little bit of holy water on our forehead, or I've even heard of some people getting completely dunked into holy water, and it just kind of marks or symbolizes that God is our Savior and Jesus Christ was his son, and we believe all of that, and we're going to live our life kind of according to God's will. Like I said, this week we're talking about Jesus getting baptized. And Jesus, the Son of God, people were starting to realize who he was, but not quite yet. This week's story is from Matthew, and we are in chapter 3, verses 13 through 17, so it's going to be a nice quick read. Right before all of this, Jesus's father, Joseph, and Mary, Joseph was getting these dreams from God that was saying, okay, you need to move around because the specific king that was ruling over their town that they were living in had found out that Jesus was born the Son of God. And so this king was really, really terrible, and he was trying to get rid of Jesus in any way possible. And so Joseph had these dreams, and so he moved Jesus and Mary out of their hometown and into another home. While Jesus was growing up, his parents wanted to get him baptized. And I think at this point they knew Jesus was special, so they actually went to a really special pastor or a priest, or his name was John, and he was known for being a really important guy that baptized a lot of people, and people really claimed that he changed their lives. Like, this guy was the guy to go to if you wanted to get baptized. So this is Matthew 3, verses 13 through 17. Jesus then appeared, arriving at the Jordan River from Galilee. He wanted John to baptize him. Remember, John was the really, really good baptizer that everybody went to. And then John objected. He said, "I'm the one who needs to be baptized, not you," talking to Jesus. And then it says, but Jesus insisted, "Do it. God's work, putting things right all these centuries, is coming together right now in this baptism." So John baptized him. The moment Jesus came up from the baptismal waters, the skies opened up and he saw God's Spirit. It looked like a dove, descending and landing on him. And along with the Spirit, a voice that said, "This is my Son, chosen and marked by my love, delight of my life." So, basically, John could realize, or he sensed, that Jesus was the chosen one. Not very many people knew that yet, so this was kind of a turning point for Jesus. And then John said, I can't baptize you, you need to baptize me. But Jesus insisted that John baptize him, and so John eventually agreed, and when he dunked Jesus into the Jordan River, which was basically their holy water that they were using, God gave this message to everyone there. It was a physical message that was, his Spirit came down from the sky, and they also heard this voice saying, "This is my Son, and he is the delight of my life." So to everyone present, which where probably Jesus, his parents, and John realized in that moment that God had come and chosen Jesus, or had shown that Jesus was his son. So this was unlike any other baptism John had seen. John had a pretty strong relationship with God, but this was unlike anything else. So we can actually read about this same story in a different chapter of the Bible. But in the book of Luke, which we were actually reading from last week, it talks about the exact same story. It's just written a little bit differently. And I'm going to talk about it just a little bit because I think it makes a little more sense. So in Luke, the Bible actually talks about crowds of people coming to John because they believed he was the Son of God. And that's because he would speak to people in the crowds. He would speak to a lot of people at one time. And he changed a lot of people's lives just by being able to talk to them and give them hope and strength. And actually during the same time, that king that was trying to get rid of Jesus also put John the Baptist in jail as well. John was a really important guy and obviously frightened this king as much as Jesus did. And in Luke, the story actually talks about a lot of people being baptized, and Jesus was the last one to be baptized of the group. At this point, people were really starting to catch on that, okay, Jesus is the Son of God, and he is our chosen one and our Savior. Do you guys know if any of you have been baptized yet? Or maybe you can ask your parents if they were baptized or how that felt, because it's probably quite different from what Jesus went through when he was dunked under the river and then brought back up. I think when I was baptized, there was a seashell and they just like spooned it onto my head. I don't really remember. Yeah, you guys should ask your parents if they remember being baptized, or maybe sometime when you come to church again, you'll be able to see a baptism again, and you can kind of relate this story, to what's happening in church that day. Okay guys, I am going to go ahead and wrap up this lesson, and I encourage you once again to ask your parents about baptism and see if they remember being baptized or remember when you were baptized, or maybe you guys remember being baptized, and talk about that with them. So let's go ahead and get ready for our prayer this week and bow our heads when you're ready. Dear God, thank you for keeping Jesus safe as he was growing up in hard times. Thank you for baptism and allowing an ordinary task to be special in our lives. Help us to share your love in the world and grow more compassionate in our everyday lives because of you. Amen. Okay, we will see you guys next week, and enjoy your stories of baptism. Bye guys.